Hello, hello, good morning. Can everybody hear me? Is it audio working? Um, the light's on, so it should be. I'm here. I've had a bit of hiatus, but it's not because I haven't been doing things. I have been very busy. I've been dealing with a lot of health issues and disappointment in life in general. So I'm back. I'm here today. And I honestly feel like this is going to be our very last day working on this project. It does not look very much different from before, and in fact, it's probably going to get a little more plainer by the end of today because I have to get it ready for shipping. I have been working making the little pins and getting everything prepped so that it's easy to put together. There's a string. Don't want to deal with. I got my tiny trees. I got big trees. I got medium trees. I got all sorts of trees ready to be on this little planet. And in my head, I keep looking at this going, you know what? If people live on dust specks and a person is a person no matter how small, I wonder about the people who are living on my cape. Do they enjoy it when I go out for a day by the beach, in the sunshine and the sand? Do they get upset when I leave it crumpled up in a ball to the side? Is washing just a rainy day, or is it a catastrophic disaster? Fun problems, right? In this little world, people live on dust specks, and a person's a person, no matter how small, and I love it. Welcome to my stream. Hello, Michael Snell, welcome. And Ralph Mork, oi to you too. I'm glad you guys could be here today. So, I have some fun packages that I received in the mail, and I was going to open those. They're nothing super exciting, but they're the last little pieces for this project completely. I peeked in this one. So, let me put this out of the way. Those little pins are delicate, but I love them. I had a stowaway, a little guy that was orange, who followed me to Broadway costumes, hung around for a few days, and made it back home, all attached to my jacket, not knowingly, and I loved it. So, I've been enjoying those pins, for sure. And even after when this whole project's over, I feel like those people are going to be floating around everywhere. I moved my garbage bag. It's now not where it's easily accessible. But in here, the reason there are no roads, because the roads are going to be gloves. We got some opera length satin gloves. That I'm debating whether or not I want to add road lines or just like a dotted center line for the road markers. But this is my junk jewelry bag. Not that jewelry's junk, it's just this is a resizable finger ring that has a good base that I could attach I like this car. A car too. Not necessarily this ring. I think I probably have better ones. But I wanted to do a car ring on the road as the hand pokes out of the cape. You know, being all artsy-fartsy for civilization coming and, you know, taking over this world. Or the human hands, whatever kind of artistry you want to make out of it. But I love it. I love the symbolism. We have the gloves being the road. I have car rings that I'm going to be making. I also was going to attach like a couple pins to cars, so if I didn't want them just directly on only the ring. And I also wanted to make, this ring's too chunky for it. I'll have to find, oh. At one point I really liked this one because look at it reminds me of the reflectors, and it's a little center of the road with the reflectors leading up, and I thought it'd be nice to put a stop sign, one of these miniature stop signs. I am going to not break off the stop sign so I don't accidentally lose it, but this narrow bridge sign, I was thinking about painting the stop sign and putting it on the end of this ring. So as it's like, and then I thought it might be kind of funny. I have so many little people to manage, but I have a little person on a bicycle in a little box that I thought could be funny, like where the hands come out, like you poke the guy on the bicycle as the cars kind of try and come through. But this is the last little step. So instead of doing the roads all over, I had them all pinned out, kind of figured out where do we want to put them, how do we want to mark them off, and we switched it up into the gloves. That's why the roads disappeared off of the actual cape, which I love this direction. It's easier for me, which I'm never opposed to doing more work for art. You know, like if it's pretty, I'll go through the effort to make it happen. But I love this, and I think it's going to be fun. And looking at this on camera, I love the retro reflective, and I don't think I want to do it down the whole glove. I love working with retro reflective materials. Like I made a mermaid tail blanket out of retro reflective yarn. Like it had it woven in like those paparazzi scarf, but it's a yarn, and I made a mermaid tail out of it, and it just pops on camera, and I love it. I also made a little blanket with retro reflective stuff. I've made swimsuits and other things too. I am looking at my safety vest that I secretly wanted to sacrifice to this project, even though I know I have some tape in my pile of ribbons somewhere that I just have to kind of hunt down. But I don't want to ruin my safety vest, because safety vests mean instant authority, and you can get in and do whatever you want when you're wearing one. Shh, it's a secret. Just act like you belong. But it's true. I have it as part of my set bag because as a PA, I often have to direct traffic or tell people to hold on 1 second while we're filming, you know? And they listen to the person in the retroflective vest. It's just the rules. And so I don't want to ruin it. But I do have other issues. I have other things that I can. I even have rhinestones. But wool and rhinestones, I want to keep it minimum. I don't mind the satin, but I don't want to formal elegant with a too casual. Things that I get stuck on in the back of my head. But fun problems. But we're almost done with them. We're on the last little stretch of this. Like I said, I'm doing the final details. I'm going to take everything off and give it a good final press. Just like... Okay, so long story short, my little brother, I helped him learn how to make a pair of pants last night. And he had made a pair of pants without me, and like me explaining it to him without me actually sitting down with him was not the end of the world. He ended up making a pair of pants, but then when I helped him, things made a whole lot more sense and clicked and went way, way, way faster. One of the things that we talked about was ironing as we go, because some of the issues he had, they were solved instantly by just pressing the seam you just sewed, you know, the little bit of a wrinkle or rumple or whatever. It just irons straight out. So pressing as you go makes things look really nice. Like this, I'm really happy with the way that it lays flat and it's really pretty. But if I take that just a little extra time, especially before I ship it out, it will look way crisper. As a stylist, a lot of what I do is just steam because it makes a huge difference. So I want to give this a final professional pressing. It will help it hold a little bit more structure and support because I'll use some starch, which is an exterior sizing agent. It sounds so technical, but it gives it a little bit extra support and structure. And that is what I desperately need to build upon because I have trees sticking straight out 3 or 4 inches. And if I don't give them the structure and support, they're going to be floppy trees. And having the multiple layers of the lining, the interlining, the heavy weight of the fabric, and then also on top of that, having the piece of boning that I stuck underneath the tree oriented correctly, and then resting upon the skeletal structure of my cone. So it's holding together, it's working. The things that I was worried about the most, we're good. Let me take this glove off because I feel like I don't have a hand. And plus touching rhinestones with satin gloves icks me out. You know, it's just one of those textural things. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Satin gloves on rhinestones. Ugh. Just ugh. Doesn't stop me though. Okay. I don't want the narrow bridge one. I definitely want the stop sign one. Ooh, but I have to make a couple options as far as cars go, depending on where we want them and can position them. I want to keep everything flexible. So, Michael Snell says, I would say the center line would look nice. Okay, fair enough. I will prep I'll prep one that can be added but isn't necessarily going to be permanent. Because the retroreflective tape I have, I believe it has an iron-on or a sticky back, so I can just kind of place it there without permanently installing it to see if it looks good. If it looks good, I'll keep it. If it doesn't, I'll just let it go. But I have to actually dig out the retroreflective material. So I won't give up on that idea completely yet, but oh, the finish line isn't. I can see it. There's a model, there's a photographer, there is a place. It is happening. It always feels nice because if you let me go forever, I may never finish a project as true artists because, you know, nothing's ever good enough. But sometimes you just need a good point to, okay, let's do it. And we're there, yeah. We're there. Just the last little pieces. Not Top says, it may be fun if the stop sign ring was worn upside down so that the open palm could reveal it. Yep, that's completely flexible to do with a ring. We could put it on either side. I like it. I like it. Also, the hand could be holding the person in the bicycle. Uh-oh. Or that's where they're holding the car crash. See, this is a whole little world up to our imaginations, you know? If people live on dust specks and a person's a person no matter how small, what kind of weird shit do they get into? Just wondering, you know? Ace says, just popped in to say hi. I'm at work, so I'll watch this in the future. Have a great day. Well, thank you, Ace. Welcome, and see you in future. And welcome, future Ace. Welcome back. Schultz Division, having dinner with the kids, but yet here I am. Hello. Well, hello. Hello, Schultz Division, and hello, Schultz Division's children. Hope you guys are enjoying your dinner and eat your vegetables. Those are your pretty pills. But welcome. I love that it's nighttime because it's nice and early over here and it's cold in the morning. I'm honestly still in my sweats, but I'm here. So thank you for joining me. Michael Snell, you can teach me to make a pair of pants. Yes, actually, if you guys want, this project's just about done. We can do a pair of pajama pants, and then if you wanted to make them for your friends or family for Christmas, it's not that hard. I did it in less than an hour with my brother. So yes, we can totally make a pair of pants. Not today, though. but that can't happen. Ralph Mort gonna go for some dinner 6 p.m. here. Oh, nice. I love that this is a worldwide live stream. It blows my mind that people all over the world come and join me to make these weird art projects and join me in my random crafting adventures. So thank you for joining me. I think it's amazing, and I love that this world is bigger than my little corner of it. So welcome, welcome, everybody. If you're still on later, then I'll be back. Well, hopefully. Yeah. I don't plan on being too long, honestly. Got the 45th clown here. Hello, I'm making a t-shirt. Was thinking about maybe I don't need to press, so I'm getting my iron out now. Okay, so with knits, you don't necessarily have to press, but I do enjoy using a cool iron. It makes things go so much easier. So yes, like it's not necessary with knits, but it does help, especially if they start to curl a little bit. You can press them back into place. Just don't super stretch as you sew. I know you're supposed to stretch and sew with knits, but you kind of just got to smoosh it. Don't know fully how to explain that, but good luck. And yes, pull out your iron. It, like every seam that you sew, you iron a seam. You iron it if you can. You press it flat the way you sewed it, and then you press it open if you didn't serge it, but if you serged it, you press your seam allowance to one side or the other. You just have to decide which one, and then press it flat open so that it looks clean, and makes night and day difference. It really does. And also press your hem before you sew it, not after. That way it just holds where it's supposed to be, and while you're sewing it, it will be like, oh, everything lined up so nicely because you pre-pressed it. So if you haven't before your PSA, just press as you sew. I didn't believe it. I was not a person who liked it. I thought it was bull crap and just more work. But sewing every day and making a wedding dress every day, I realized there are some things that you can do that will prevent work in the future, and pressing as you sew will make everything look so much easier, go smoother, and make less work in the future. Pinning also helps. Not everywhere, but certain places. I do avoid pinning when I can. Michael Snell, it's noon over here. And Schultz Division's in the same time zone as Ralph. Awesome. So, good evening to y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. How is everybody doing? I guess that's how I should probably say my hellos and goodbyes. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Okay. I have a Dremel. My glue gun is in yet another room. But let me open the other package before I start moving on with this real quick. What is in the other package? It's the box. It's the box. What's in this box? Schultz Division. Felicia, I can't remember if I asked already, but do you have patterns for Jedi robe and tunic? The ones I looked at were very hard for me to understand. I do not currently have any patterns for a Jedi robe or tunic, but I can literally draw it out for you. You can draw it on the side of this box. Here is a marker. Here is a rectangle. Okay? You need a place for your head. So your front scoop is a little bit deeper than your back scoop. Your back scoop is pretty flat. You have to have a center front seam. This is the bottom and the hem. So it should be, you should measure it to how long you want it to hit, whether you want it to hit your shins, your feet, your knees, your ankles, you know, kind of whatever measurement from here to here is how long you want it from shoulder to hemline. Then, because I told you this is a rectangle of fabric, you make a T shape, and all of this gets cut away. And all of this gets cut away. And this line gets cut open on the front but not the back, because there is a fold here. And so you have to measure from wrist to wrist. From fingertip to fingertip is your height. So if you're 6 feet tall, it would be a little less than 6 foot to 6 foot to get from fingertip to fingertip. But if you use a Harbor Freight drop cloth, those are 4 feet wide. And with it being 4 feet wide, you get like a 3/4 inch sleeve width. And then you just kind of measure how wide you want your sleeve to be. And then you have to make sure that you have enough fabric in the center to fit all the way around you. But it is literally just a rectangle that you cut off, a rectangle that can be on the fold. And I can make a real legit pattern, but you can eyeball it too. Especially if you're using something as easy as a sheet or painter's tarp or something that is low cost of entry, so that it's not like devastating if you like ruin your fabric and stuff. But for the city of Rancho Cordova's May the 4th event, I did the Jedi robe out of Harbor Freight Painter's Tarp workshop, and in an hour and a half, people walked out with a robe and a costume that was functional and worked for them. And it worked for various sizes, for small children to large adults, but I think there is kind of a limit on larger adults. You might have to go up on a tarp size if you are extra big. I don't know. There may be some wiggle room, and or if you want longer sleeves. But we just cut it out and eyeballed it and hot glued it together, and it wasn't that frustrating or crazy. But if you figure it out on a cheap crappy fabric, try it on, and it works in all of your dimensions that you need, you can then transfer it to your actual real fabric. So do a practice one, figure it out, make it ugly, and then go, okay, now I know what to do, let's do it out of the right fabric. That's very traditional. I have this piece right here, which is my practice, made out of a drop cloth, where I patterned it out, figured out my sizing, draped it before I cut it out. So I have a reference piece of fabric. But so anyways, I have this mail that I'm not opening. Schultz Division. It looks pretty simple, actually. Thank you so much. Planning on Mando Jedi costume. So that is the simplest way I can explain to do it. Don't be afraid to try. And if you do that, then you can always add layers of complication later. Like, okay, now how do I do in a set-in sleeve as opposed to a kimono style sleeve? The way we did it was technically a kimono style sleeve, so we don't have to deal with a sleeve seam. And it's just already one piece. It's just a T. So have fun, make some mistakes, use something that's low cost of entry, cheap fabrics, things you're going to throw away, figure it out, and then cut it out of your nice fabric. Ta-da! What is this? I am not sponsored, but I would totally love to be sponsored by almost anybody, you know. But what is this? This is tacky spray. I don't know if you can read any of that. Repositionable tacky spray. Eileen's original. America's favorite. Repositional all-purpose spray adhesive. So what is this, and why am I really excited about it? So this is a quilter's secret weapon. Some people use glue sticks, but this stuff is amazing. What you do is you spray the back of your fabric, and it will turn it into a sticker that you can then stick onto your fabric, other fabric, and they can hold it in place while you sew around the edges or while you are figuring out your designs. But it doesn't leave a residue It doesn't gunk up your sewing machine. It doesn't get sticky on your needles. It doesn't make everything like icky sticky. It makes it like a repositionable sticker. You can peel it off and put it back on again, and peel it off and put it back on again. And you can peel off and quite a few times, surprisingly. First time I used this, it was a quilter lady that I was talking to, and, you know, fellow crafter. I had come to her with a problem. I was making tabards for a big Smosh episode where we were doing Clash of Kings, Clash of Clans, Clash of Kings. I think it's Clash of Kings. It's a video game, and I needed to make, the joke was written that I needed to, that they had large targets on their chests. So I designed tabards that were red with white crosses so that they looked like giant targets on their chest. And I needed to make it not permanent because we rented these tabards from Southern California. So it was kind of a big deal, and I couldn't ruin these tabards, but I also didn't have the full budget to like make whole ones from scratch, and I didn't want to hand stitch them, even though I could have temporarily attached them that way. And this was amazing. It didn't leave any residue. We were able to put the crosses on, peel them off, and those crosses then kind of floated around the walls at Smosh for a while, because we would just stick them to the walls so that for storage, and then they would get in the way, so we move them. But so why do I have this for this project? Okay, see, you guys see these trees? You don't necessarily see the bases that are attached to them. Like right here, there's a little bit of a hard edge. You can't see it because of the lighting. Now, that edge may need to be smoothed down so that, like, when we're taking actual still photography, just to make it all blend, just using this as the back of it to, even though they're all pinned on, I want to spray around the fabric bases just so that it all sticks down and together, but it also is not going to add a gunk, you know, a sticky layer to this or ruin it in any way. So that is why I have the tacky spray. So I don't necessarily need it until we're starting to set this up, and we have a camera up and going, oh no, we can totally see that. All right, let me, and then put it where it needs to go. So those are the two things that that I needed to finish this, and now I can finish it. Michael Snell, back in the olden days, sailors would make coats out of rectangles of whaleskin, basically just cutting holes for the head and arms. Yeah, no, rectangles are the basis of so many different fashion, because think about it. When you weave fabric, you make a giant rectangle, and it took so much effort to make that rectangle. Let's not cut off as much as we possibly can so that we are not wasting our efforts. No, I completely get it. Like, yep. History of Western World Fashion, one of my favorite classes. Schultz Division, thank you for your time, Felicia. Dinner's done and it's sleepy time for the kids. Soon. Catch the stream later. Bye. Bye, Schultz Division. Okay. So I am down to my last few pins. Like, I had a ton. I'm getting down to the last few. I want to use these ones on the cars. Okay, 2 seconds. Let me. I'm back. I need my glue gun and my favorite bag of toys. You know. Put that on. Stay. I have to clean this thing so that it will, so it has its clean connection again, so I don't have to be so, glue gun. Okay. I have little cars. The question is, do I need to rough it up in order to have a good adhesion to these? I don't think I'm going to need to on this one for sure. Got this truck. This truck. Police car. There it is. I was like, I think there's one more in here. It is. It's right here. And then this one. And this one. Okay. Michael Snell's asking, what did you do for Halloween? Well, I spent the last 2 weeks of... Oh, I don't need to take this sticker off. I could just open the thing and take it out. I spent the last 2 weeks of October working at... There's screws in here that I need a tiny screwdriver to get this car off of this mount. But because those are there, I'm like, I could totally use those as mount holes and screw it in. So I'm just going to put this one to the side for the moment. And I'm assuming this one, the police car, is the same method because it's pretty attached too. So let me skip those ones for the moment. Okay, they could be over there. I'll focus on these ones. So I spent my Halloween dressing people up in Halloween costumes. It was really fun. I really enjoy working at a costume shop, especially during the Halloween season. I love seeing people's creativity. I love helping people with their last minute big issues. I like people leaving the shop ready to party. Like, working at a costume shop, I get to see people prepping for the party. Now, there are people who don't like to go to the party because they don't feel like they deserve to dress up and they feel really sad about themselves. And it's really hard when they're not finding a costume, and it can be the most depressing, sad thing I've ever seen, and it makes my heart hurt. But you get that person into a costume and they feel like they can't, that fits the theme. All of a sudden, they're excited for the party. They are already invested in having fun. You know, like they get to play, they get to participate on a different level, and having people leave floating out of there ready to go play, and then when they come back in returning the costume going, oh my gosh, it was so much fun, I had the best costume at the party, everybody was coming up to me going, can I take your picture? And just seeing people's like happiness levels just like extremely change makes my day. And so I got to dress up with a whole bunch of people, and it was a lot of fun. And for the most part, it was fairly easy for me, not necessarily for other people. A lot of people were like, wow, you made that really easy. I'm like, it's okay, I do this, I got you. So I also dressed up differently every day that I went to work at Broadway Costumes. I actually saved the photos because I tried to take a picture every day so that I wouldn't forget whatever I wore, because I was like, I think I wore a costume. So I made sure I took a picture, and I have a slideshow that I can share with you guys. And since I'm going off on a tangent, I might as well. Here we go. Let's see. Halloween costumes. This is me trying to show off my pants because I couldn't quite get them into the shot. But first day, I was just dressing up as a mummy, but nothing super crazy because they don't really know me yet. You know, trying to make not too crazy of an impression. And then this is me outside of Broadway Costumes. Their shop is in the shape of a castle with a dragon painted on the front, which I think is fun. This is kind of a Wednesday Adam inspired-esque look. Again, not trying to scare people away too fast, but I think it does go rather well with my little boot. By this point, I was just like, full on, screw it, let's have some fun. And I wore my skeleton onesie with my Simpson donut fanny pack, which made me laugh. Definitely had fun running around in that. Went for something a little bit boring. I was the ref, a blind ref, so I had my glasses that I made for a Barbie box. Well, they were for a Barbie box in a music video, and I wear them way too much that you can't see through them. They're perfectly Barbie glasses. That with a whistle, and I was a blind ref. On this one, you can't really see my costume, but it was Wednesday, and on Wednesdays we wear pink, and I had a little tiny pink pin, but nothing super exciting. It's just being comfortable at work. But again, on the grounds of being comfortable at work, I got to be the captain. That one was a lot of fun, and people actually got who I was, so got the costume, which I appreciated. It was fun. Then I decided to pull out some more favorites. If you guys recognize this, this is a dress that I did a live stream where I showed you how you can upgrade it. I did absolutely none of the understructure support because I was going to be working for 12 hours. Screw that. It was comfortable. But I did steam it. So if you're going to wear a packaged costume, make sure you steam it and it'll look way better. I also had a red velvet cape that I wore with this dress, but I didn't get any pictures of it because I didn't get any pictures of it. But look at Bruno saying hi in the photo. And then this is my Wizard 70s dress. Look at the sleeves. Look at the sleeves! Aren't those super fun? My friend gave me this. It was her mom's old dress, and I still love this thing to death. And then the next day, I went for a Little Mermaid look, but it was cold, so I threw on my muscle shirt, which is covered in clams and mussels. And then that's my little broken flipper. I was just laughing about it, but I was a mermaid with a muscle shirt. And then this was my 80s look because there was an 80s prom going on and I was dressing people up for it. So I figured, you know what, let me have some fun. And I crimped my hair real big, and my shirt has vampire teeth on it, and those are actual acid wash jeans with no stretch in them, with zippers on the ankle to make them fit the way that they fit. I love and hate those jeans so much. Like, you have to really want to sit down to be able to sit down in them, and then you spring back up really easily. Yeah. And then I was Barbie. I'm wearing the jacket that I'm wearing now. I absolutely love that jacket. But I don't know. It feels like cheating, but it was fun. Pulled out my old cheerleading outfit because it's comfortable. That thing's meant to do sports in. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a full day. It's kind of cold. And I figured I'd be the cheerleader on the sideline. So I wore it with my warm-ups because I have the broken foot. So. And then the very last day, which was actually Halloween, I pulled out the Harley Quinn costume and showed everybody all the fun pranks that we had at the shop. So, talk about going off on a tangent. But those were all the costumes that I dressed up for this Halloween. Is it? Yeah, I think that's all of them. So, and then actually Halloween, I got out of there around 8 o'clock and then went home and crashed and enjoyed my time off after that. So, I didn't know what I was going to be any of the days before I dressed up as them. The weather more determined what I was wearing than anything else, and also like how I was feeling in the morning, whether I wanted to be in something stretchy or comfy or crazy. So when people ask, what are you going to be for Halloween? I have no idea until literally I'm out the door. So fun problems, right? Thank you, Michael Snow. Fun. Looks like you had a good time. I did. I really did. And 45 Clown. Those looked amazing. Thank you. I don't always have the most basic, like, what's normal as to, you know, like, oh, that's something crazy. I would never run around in that. I'm like, really? And then sometimes I think something's completely normal or something that is really crazy. And they're like, oh, no, that's not that crazy. So I'm always, like, I spent the whole week encouraging people to be outside of their comfort zone. Go for the crazy. Go for the fun. I dressed up. Some of my favorite costumes were, I did a high elf, kind of Lord of the Rings style elf with the tunics and the things. It looked really good. I did some devils and angels that I liked. I did a 1960s hippie couple. They were super fun and their outfits turned out amazing. I did some masquerade 1700s kind of Marie Antoinette, like masquerade party people. Those were a lot of fun. Yeah, I think I did a lot of pirates this year. A lot of pirates. Okay. One of my issues that I'm worried about is that there are wheels. This isn't that big of a deal because I don't have to stab it in all the way and it will still be kind of secure. And this fabric it's on is stretchy. But this truck is a whole... The pin barely goes past the wheels. So it's not going to like lay as flat as I would like. I could build up underneath, but I don't want to see that necessarily. Where to put the pin? That is the question. I really only need one good anchor point for this guy, and I think that would probably be in this part, because then I could go directionally. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it right here. I'm only going to put one on this one for now. We'll go from there. Stay. Let that cool. Nice. Michael Snell says, I was Uncle Fester 2 years ago and everyone loved that one. I did do an Uncle Fester this year. That was a lot of fun. The guy got the perfect jacket coat thing. It was like heavy and it looked really good on him. We also sold a lot of theatrical makeup, so people got to get the full looks. And we also did a cousinette. They turned the dog into the cousinette for their party. And so they they bought a wig that they turned into that. And I was just like, I love this. A poor dog, but I am so excited about that one. Interesting. This one also has a little screw spot right there. That makes me wonder if I can use that as a mounting point, but I think a pin will be fine. I think this will work. Stay. Yeah, there were a lot of Beetlejuice Halloween costumes also this year too. I think it might have been because that movie was a fun movie that just came out. This truck is heavy. I love this truck so much. I don't want to ruin it, but I want to try and only have one pin in this if I can. But I'll test it out on my sleeve and make sure that it'll stay. I can also test it out on the satin too. These cars no longer roll on the road. They have stabby things on them. And I love that all of these cars, they put in like the effort to put like the axles and like the different pieces that you need for your car and the exhaust tailpipe and the differential. They put in all of these little things that, you know, they didn't have to, but I appreciate. Oh, this car is super heavy. This one is getting two no matter what. Is this even heavier than... Although, I'm not turning this one into a pin. I'm going to turn this one into a ring. This little yellow car. All right, this is just, you can't even see it. It's a tiny little adjustable ring. So, oh, I'm out of hot. No, I'm not out of hot. I'm out of glue. So here's my question for all of you guys. What was your favorite Halloween costume of all time that you've had a chance to dress up as? Because I think I would still go back to some of my childhood Halloween costumes. I'm torn between my Solo in the Spotlight Barbie dress, my mermaid, little mermaid costume, and my childhood one, not my grown-up one, although I really do like my grown-up one because I do have the really fun seashells, which I did not wear to work just because I wore a different shirt instead. But that and Jasmine. Apparently I like Disney princesses. There we go. Look at this ring. I want to put it on, but I need the glue to not be so hot anymore. Beep, beep. All right, and the heavy car. This car is just too heavy to be on a ring, and it's too long. It's longer than my middle finger. See that? You can only see it like barely poking through. Don't worry, this channel's not monetized or anything, but can't be on a ring. It has to be on a pin. But we will have options, that's for sure. Put that on the gearbox right there. Ah, no strings. It's like you pull off the little spider silk and then there's like more and more and more, and then all of a sudden you're covered in spider webs. You can't see them, but I feel them. Ugh. Okay. Michael Snell. That's like trying to pick a favorite child, LOL. I get that, right? But apparently I have my favorites. But costumes are fun. One of my favorite parties that I had like the best time at, I was dressed up like, I think it was Jigsaw. I was the little puppet thing that rode around on a tricycle. I had a tiny tuxedo. I had a tricycle. I had the little mask for the little puppet guy. I've never seen that movie, but I had so much fun at that party. I was scaring people left and right. I had a chair everywhere I went because I brought my chair with me. And it was a lot of fun. Am I going to watch the movie? No, but I totally dressed up like that and had fun at the party. Okay, this one definitely, I'm going. Okay, that's going to survive that. Let me put this like right before the rear axle because I don't want it between the tires. There we go. This one is totally getting 2 pins. It's dangerous now. So dangerous. All right. It's cold, but I don't want the sleeve while I'm trying on my gloves. Let's see. This is the glove. Oops, I have a bracelet. Let me remove that. All right. Now I'm ready to be the onceler. No, not fully. I got a ring car. I love this. Can go on any finger I would like. Here's it like as a ring. I said yes. Look at that. This could be fun. Could be very fun. And then let's try the pinned version. Let me go with the one that I think is going to be the hardest, which would be this truck because of its weight. I'm going to stick it at the wrist-ish area, because why not? And, oh yeah, if I just went in holding the little nub, I can reach in and all right, let's see. Well, this car can 4-wheel drive, that's for sure. Now let's go up the thing. This would be more secure if it had that second. If it had 2 pins versus 1. And now for the stop sign. Still like this ring. Actually, kind of like it here. These fingertips can be a little funky. Yeah. It's okay. I like this ring as the center of the middle finger, so if I do the road, I can just continue the dots from the diamonds or the line all the way down. But then the car can be on either side of the line or going straight down the center. I don't know, we have options, but I think this is really fun. Need the stop sign now so I can attach it. Okay. Let me pull this off before I... All right, I'm gonna add two more. No. I'm gonna pop this one off, move it down, and move it forward, because I don't want to be right between the tires. That's securely, that's on good. Okay, we're not ripping off something that's on securely. I'll just add a second one at the back of the truck. Yeah. I think I'm going to go for the back of the truck because it's lifted more in the back. Oh my gosh, it's freezing. Okay. All right, let's see. So if that one needed two, this one's definitely going to need two. I think I'm going to put this one in the rear. But the tiny one, I think it is fine. I blew a blue bubble. That's never happened before, but it's kind of cute. I built up a little glob of glue so that it helps with the height of the pins. All right, just gotta let that dry or cool. Ooh. Okay. Michael Snell, I really enjoyed the year I dressed up as the Swedish chef. Oh, that one's fun. That's a fun character to be in. Not top. The road gloves with cars are going to look cool. I'm so excited about them. Okay, so these pins are going to work. This car is going to work. I'm going to paint the red on the stop sign before I attach it to the ring with the dots down the center. But this is what I've been avoiding. I am going to take off these last few pins that I have on still attached. I'm going to take off the upper cape and I'm going to cut into my base. I'm going to make armholes. The reason I have not done it before this point, because design wise it's changed multiple times. Like I could at this point still, if we needed to, add sleeves. It's not the end of the world. They can be added. Not wanted, we don't need them, unnecessary, so we're not going to. I could also add the slits that I had been talking about, but again, it's kind of too intrusive on the design, so we decided against them. It's just going to be reaching out of the cape, but I do need to now add the holes onto this, so give me a couple of seconds. See my X with 2 pins? This tree is stable and I love it, especially since it's a heavier tree. It's a nice thick tree and, you know, weight-wise it's pretty heavy. Like if I pinned it just onto my jacket, it would probably flop, but it's staying up really nicely. modified design, one pin, one piece of boning. But if I put it this way, it falls, like there's nothing to support it. But if I put it this way, it stays really stable. So the difference. And then these ones were just pinned on, so I have to put them to the side so that they can get their backs. This one goes up here. But see how this fabric right here is around my base support, my little piece of boning. I am going to make sure it doesn't have sharp edges. I'm going to make sure they're all rounded. But I will spray glue this piece. I'm not going to spray with my cameras on or up. I'm going to spray it and just leave it to the side. And as I'm attaching them, they'll just stick flat. And I probably won't even need to use a pin to attach them, but I'm still going to because I want her to be able to twirl around. Putting these directly into their boxes because I don't want them to be ruined. I think this is the part that's making me the most nervous of this whole design is these power lines, because they are going to have strings on them, and that's just because I don't have it up yet, and I don't want to do it before shipping because I don't want them tangled. It makes me nervous, but I do know how I would do it, and I've done it before, so I know I can do it again. Have I done this before? Not on a dress, but if you look up Saints, If You Ever Feel Alone, that music video, same director as the person that I'm making this cape with, made that one. In fact, I think some of this stuff came from that set at one point. Not all of this. It may have been from other sets and stuff. But the train set that... Okay, there's a couple train sets. I built the interior of the train set, and I love that one. But I'm talking about the train set where it's the model train set, where she sticks her head through, and the train's going around her head. There are power lines in the background. And so though I did those on that set with the strings attached, and I did have help doing it too, because I believe Dylan sat there doing it painstakingly after he took over doing that so I can move on to something else, but it happened and I've done it. It works. And I know it'll work on this, and I have better techniques on how to do it. What I plan on doing is having my glue so I can just lay it across and attach it with a little dot of glue. And so I'm not like wrapping or tying or stringing. It's just kind of tacked in place as I go along. And I'm just going to use string thread. I don't know if I want to go with black thread because black thread will disappear the most. I think black thread would be the most visually understanding, because like if I was to imagine the wires, I would do a black thread. But when I want thread to disappear, I use black because you won't notice it. So maybe a silver or a white thread would make the power lines more visible or visually interesting. So I will probably do like one like two power lines with the strings connecting them to like, here's a black string, here's a white string, here's a whatever other color options that I have, so that we can decide which ones look the best. But that's the part that I'm still a little nervous on. I'm not going to take Mariah off right now. She can stay in this world. Do you see her? Right there. I spy with my little eye. A person's a person, no matter how small. Oh, this one didn't even have a back on it. It was just stabbed directly into my dress form, which works. don't want to lose this. I only have so many of these. Okay. Completely a wearable cape. You know, strings don't seem half bad of an idea. It's actually nice and warm. I enjoy this. Look at little Mariah right here. I love this. If people live on dust specks and a person's a person no matter how small, I wonder about the person who lives on my coat. Or the people who do. Is laundry day a storm or a catastrophe? All right, Mariah, I'm going to save you so you don't get knocked off or ruined. I don't want to lose you, so you can go in here with those people. All right, so. I am a Christmas tree. No, I'm not a Christmas tree, but I feel like a Christmas tree. So see how my arms, this is where my arms are. Hands. This pin is marking my center front. So I know that that's where my center front is. And I want to keep that close because you might be able to see it. It's probably the part that'll be poking out the most. So I want to make sure that I'm like over here to mark where my hands can fit through. So if I grab pin, all right, I have my center front. I want to be within this range. Mark it with a pin. And then I don't want to be any further than over here. Mark that with a pin. And I know that I have to stay within these two bones, so I don't need to mark that with a pin. But I have two shiny pins here and here, and then I have the bones up here and here, and my center front one. Now that I'm on the right side of my fabric, let me just mark this. Mark this. I want a template to follow. I'm right here. Sorry, I'm off camera. I have a thing that I want to use, and it's right. I'm digging. Here. Okay. Ta-da! What is this? This is Taylor's chalk. Well, visually, you guys can't see that very well on here, but Now I have references to move my marks over. One, two, three, four, five. I feel like I'm talking to myself, but I know that you internet strangers are here with me, so it doesn't feel so weird talking out loud. This tailored chalk is not my favorite. I thought I would like it more. This is about here. There. Let me throw on the cape to make sure that none of my marks will be noticed, and then we'll double check. Mariah Woods! Hola mates, welcome! I literally just took you off of the coat. You were the last person in this little world. It is officially an empty little world while I'm figuring all this out so nobody gets bumped around. Okay. Make a secondary mark. Just balancing out, making sure everything's even. All right, my original mark was right, and I was just messing myself up by looking at that second mark. I think this will be big enough of a hole. All right. Like I said, I want a template or a pattern. I was just patterning yesterday, so I have a bunch of little scraps around. This needs to be there we go. Then fold it in half and in quarters. Make the whole thing. I have a template. I made a giant mess. This is why I pinned everything down though. So I want to be able to get in here. This could be a disaster, but I'm using this as a counterweight. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. It's okay though. I got this. I want to use those scissors right here. All right. Told you it's a bad idea, right? Just about to get my scissors in. All right, let's do this. This is nothing about this is flat or easy to do. It's okay, I got it. This is why I wanted a tangible pattern, just so I knew, because I knew it was going to be wonky. Giant hole. It's okay. Try going in. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. That's not gonna work. What's nice is that the felt will stick to the felt. Well, it's not really felt, but the fabric will stick to itself. So. Okay. Ready for round 2. Let's see. Put my scissors down on my chair. Stitch. I think that puts things into a crazy perspective, right? Look at that. It's right on the princess lines. Michael Snell, you should make another one of these in white for winter scenes. Right? Or add some snow on top. All right, let's see. Gloves. Cage cape. Okay. Got the gloves. Let's remove the stabby things. You might get stabbed. Although I'm leaving the center front one in for now, just because I like that reference point. Let's see if I can do this on my own. Not without casualties, apparently. Now, the roads can come out. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. This is going to be a fun photo shoot. I think I want to add a tie here now that I have it on. I love the sleeves coming out of it. Feel like there's lots of things that can be done with that. Excuse me, can I have this real quick? I feel like I could accessorize it with like a fun bag. I feel like the sun was up one day. I don't know. But car ring, possibly. A stop sign. You could totally see my tummy through this if it falls too wide. So this definitely needs to stay closed. But I think I could add a little layer before in between these areas. But I don't think it'll even make that big of a difference. But we got, oh, this is going to be a stop sign when I'm done. But we have a little stop sign ring, car ring, and then we have car pins. To also go on this road wherever we need them to go. And of course this is going to be covered in three-dimensional trees. But it's so plain right now and I love it. It's so empty of a world. Yeah, it needs a really solid pressing. So, my finger stuck. This is an adjustable ring. I just have to smoosh it so it fits. But I don't know. I didn't ask models ring size. Honestly. Yeah. I think I need a tie here. And I'm going to press this. I'm not going to press it on camera because that's really boring to watch. But I will press this. And I have to pack up all my pins. Although I kind of want to do a sample of all the pins on and up. So depending on, after I'm done pressing it, I'll probably do a sample one, put them all up, see how it looks, and then just pack it away to go shipping. But I think this, I think I'm going to add something in here because I don't hate this, but I don't like it being such a gaping holes. Not that it's going to matter because these are going to completely come out and cover. There's my center front, and that can completely close if I just shifted everything and laid it flat. All right, let me get out of this so I can actually think. Mariah Wood says, looks great. We got a cute from Michael Snell. The car ring is tight. Thank you, Mariah. 45th Clown, the lemon bag color was a great match. I feel like it's the sunshine, like carrying it around, like it affects the light of the world. Right? But whew, all the hard parts are over with. The last hard part is just stringing up the things, but that's kind of after it's been shipped and set up the night before, because it's going to be shipped blank like this. And then the day before the shoot, there should be some time to put the people on. And if I'm not there and somebody else is there, future person who is doing this for me as the stylist, I absolutely love working with you. Thank you. And make sure that the trees, when you orient them, the boning with the pin in it is going vertically up and down on this and not horizontally, because it will not work if they're horizontal. They should be vertical. Start with the big trees first, and then do the middle-sized tree and work your way down to the tiny trees because it'll fill all in. It's okay to cluster them together. I gotta call Gonzo about the houses and seeing how those are, because I gotta get some pins on those. I will send the rest of the pins if those are necessary. I have people, I have animals, and I put the people on individual cards. So I figured each card of people could be a quadrant of this world to help evenly disperse people. They're not even, but they visually are. So I'm trying to make it as easy as possible so that it's fun. And and not stressful. But yay! This is the very last live stream working on this project, and we get to move on. Next project, I was going to do old dress shirts into pillow covers or pillowcases, but I might do pajama pants. I don't know. We'll see. Next week, we'll see what I'm working on and which projects you guys are interested in. Please feel free to come back next Tuesday. No specific time, whenever I can and am willing to go live, but definitely on next Tuesday I will be here working on more projects. But this one, I'm very glad it's done in a good way, and I'm happy with the way it turned out. It's going to be fun, it's going to be gorgeous, and I can't wait to see it all done. And when it is, I definitely will share the results with you. So I think I have been rambling on long enough. Thank you guys for joining me. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of y'all. Stay safe out there. If you need to take some time for your mental health, make sure that you do. And I will see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.